Good morning, Facebook. Got a late start this morning. Trying to do all the technical stuff here. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Alright, we ready to start this show? Oh, I should put these on, shouldn't I? So I can hear you guys. I need a new headset. I think I'll have to get that for Christmas. Give myself a Christmas present. I'm looking to do those ear things they do for peoples. I think that's the best way to say it. You guys ready? Here we go.
To rise and shine.
What?
Time to pour the coffee with Bill.
He wants to be human.
Time to rise and shine with Bill.
He has all the ingredients for disaster.
Time to get going with Bill.
He is phenomenal.
Welcome to Baker Street with your host, Bill Baker.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Good Morning Sun Prairie and a stroll down Baker Street. Bill Baker, your host, and glad to be with you this morning. Oh man, what a weekend, huh? Man, our UW volleyball girls, man, they got stopped by Pittsburgh. We've all been watching that and really cheering them on. Which, man, I don't know. I thought they'd go farther, but if a team is going to beat our girls like that, the national champion girls, you know they're good, right? You really know they're good. You're listening to 103.5 WLSP, the Sun, right here in beautiful Sun Prairie at the Sun Prairie Media Center Studios, home of Station of the Year, as chosen by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association. We're underwritten by those wonderful folks at the Bank of Sun Prairie and, of course, the Baker Realty Group, which we always bring you home. And if I can ever help you with your housing needs, you know how to get a hold of me. I'm a realtor. My name and picture are on everything. Oh my gosh, I tell you. Hey, today's show, I've been involved in an activity that I want everybody to know about, and I want you to learn about it because I think it's so important. I have had an education based upon this, and I've been going through the Sun Prairie Police Department Citizen Academy that has been teaching me things I can't even imagine. I mean, and I'm hoping there's a way that we can get the information out in front of you in Sun Prairie, because you need to know about what is going on. You need to know about the internal workings of our police department. You need to know about the philosophies of our police department. You need to know the truths and not the myths of what's going on out there. And I'm surprised, and I'm going to tell you that everybody in the class has the same opinion. And we're all like, wow, no way. That's in the way, the shock, the surprise. And I'm hoping to put together, get 3 more of my fellow students that are attending class, to get them in here maybe next Monday, and so we can talk about it, because we're getting ready to head to graduation on the 21st, and that'll. I had a really great opinion of our police department prior to this class, but my opinion is 10 times as high of the leadership, the personnel that's involved in our police department, their thinking, their philosophies, their processes, and we're going to talk a lot about them. So we're going to do that. Hey, also, we'll talk about that in a little while. Also going to talk about a very successful project that's going on in town, put on by the Sun Prairie Lions Club, and that's the Santa Project that has been going on since the start of December. It's every Friday and Saturday, where you can invite Santa to your house, and the Sun Prairie Lions will make that arrangement, and Santa comes out to visit your kiddos. We've had it where Santa's come out to visit your puppies. And it's been very successful. Dave Huckster, I was just talking about you, buddy. Thanks for joining the show, talking about the police academy. But the Santas have been extremely successful. I mean, it's not that mall type Santa. This is a Santa that's bringing gifts to your home. So we'll talk about that. Also, going to talk about National Poinsettia Day. I want to find out what your thoughts are on that beautiful plant. Or is it beautiful? I don't know. Talk about that Christmas spirit, what's going on in your life, and of course we're having a lot of music. Now, today's playlist, and if you would like any of my playlist, you're more than welcome to go to Spotify and go to Bill Baker. Find me. You'll see that smiling face, that realtor face that I have. And it's everywhere, by the way. And pull up any of my playlists. Right there. You can borrow them. That's fine. Not a problem at all. Glad for you to do it. And that's what makes it so much fun. Today is the start of my top songs for 2022. And I love how Spotify just puts these together for me. So, that's what it's all about. And what I'm curious about is, did they put them in the order of play? And I don't think they did, because I know, Fishing in the Dark is always played every single show. So, but then afterwards it has China Grove, I Don't Like Mondays, The Way You Move by Langhorne Slim. It's got some good songs in here. I think you'll like it. So again, if you'd like to do that, you're welcome to. Good morning, Alex Mahoney. Good to have you on the air with me. If you're on your way to work, you guys, somebody wants to stop by the studio, anybody, 2 or 3 of you, I don't care, come on over. I'm over at the library. Got empty chairs this morning. And I would love to have you here. Just stop by, say hi. Come by and chat with me if you want. And we can chat about anything you want to chat about. But let's do this. Let's get this show started, get it off and running. And as we do every single show, let's go fishing. Fishing in the Dark by Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. Right here on 103.5 WLSP, The Sun. Good morning. Morning, everybody. Glad that you could join me this morning. It's going to be a great day, I know. I love me some Monday mornings. Danielle, good morning. Glad that you're up and running this morning. Thanks for joining me. I know you live in there. You can always stop by. We could talk forever about useless stuff. I mean, it'll be good. Ah! Dave, you're welcome to stop by. That would be kind of cool this morning, because I'm going to talk about the police academy, and have your input, your insight on it. You may have missed in the very beginning of the show, Dave, that what I'm going to want to do is get you, maybe Christina Williams, and somebody else, one more person to come in, and let's all four talk about the police academy and what we've learned and what the surprise is, or the ahas, or things like that. So we can talk about that a little bit, you know. Had a great weekend, and I'll talk more about that too. Playing Santa all weekend. Put up the tree and the decorations and stuff. But there you have it. You have no place to getting over a cold. I almost showed up outside the window to watch and eat popcorn. Oh my gosh. Danielle, you're so funny. Good morning, Lisa. Glad to see you on here. Hope you're doing well. Miss you. Haven't seen you forever and a day. I should do this like this. I wonder if I can do it. There, my stand up. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. So what's news out in the world of Sun Prairie today? Nothing? Well, that's boring. Hey, if you have something, Nancy Osterhaus, good morning. Hope you're feeling better. Hope you're doing really well. Miss seeing you too, my friend. Thank you, Alex. I will write it down. Hey, anybody that's watching right now on Facebook, if you have an activity, an event, or something that's going on in Sun Prairie and you want to get it out, let me know this morning and I'll be happy to do that. And also, we'll need you. The other thing is to get a copy to Jeff Robbins here at the studio, right? Main Street location, thank you, Alex. I was wondering about that. Do 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 do. got it, Alex. Wednesday night. Wow. What's that? Meadowview Share Night, Wednesday at Oxford Place. Monday's Main Street location, Wednesday Oh, is that Oxford Place? Is that the new location? I didn't know that. Monday's Main Street location, Wednesday's Oxford. Oh, wow. That's really cool that you're doing that. And thank you for doing it. Thank you for being such a wonderful supporter of our community with your philanthropic activities. How's that sound, huh? Anybody have any interesting stories from this weekend that they want to share? Nothing? Hey Shirley, good morning. Yeah, but I do like Mondays, and that means I get to spend a morning with you here in the studio, and glad to do that. Been doing it now for 7 years. We've been doing it seven years, and just having a great time. Hey, if you would like, if you're listening on the radio, you're more than welcome to go to Facebook, and you can watch us there, or even on YouTube, either on the Sun Prairie Media Station Facebook page, or you can go to my personal page. Go to Baker William J, and William is spelled out. You can see us right there. See behind the scenes if you like, and see what's going on here with me in studio. A lot of people on right now. Alex Mahoney, Shirley Jensen is on, Dave Huckstra, a lot of friends that are watching. Hey, I want to point out that this Monday, tonight at Culver's on Main Street is the Eastside Elementary Share Night. So don't forget to stop by there and buy some goodies and your purchase will help support Eastside Elementary School. Also, Meadowview Share Night is Wednesday at the new Culver's location over on Oxford Place. Yes, that's what it's called, Oxford Place. So that night will support Meadowview Share Night. I think it's pretty amazing to have one share night, but when you're a community and you have two share nights, that ain't bad. And a huge shout out to Alex Mahoney and her staff for their continued giving to our community. Culver's has such a big heart, and Alex especially. She is so in tune with our community and helping in any way that they can, and she can, and I really appreciate it. So if you run into Alex, and don't hit her too hard if you run into her. No, when you're in the store and you see Alex, just say thank you, would you? Even if you you haven't received any of the contributions or the support, just know that she's supporting our community, and it is all about giving. And so excited for what Culver's does. Hey, Sunshine Supper tonight. Yep, Grace Coffee is the sponsor of tonight's meal. It's going to be a pork sandwich, coleslaw, little bit of pasta salad to go with it. That's going to start around 4:45 till 6 o'clock. Get there early, get in line up, and happy to provide a meal for anybody that wants a meal. Anybody in need of a meal would be, I guess, a better way to say that. Stop by down on Main Street, right across from Stark Realty, and you'll see it. You go around to the back and line up, and tell us how many meals you want. 1, 2, 10, 12, whatever. We're going to give them to you. We're going to walk it right out to your car and make it very convenient for you in the process. Got a lot of great volunteers over there, and what an amazing organization, what an amazing mission about bringing a community together over a meal. And it started inside, and Julie Wiedemeyer is the architect of this, and then she had a lot of help putting it together. She did this as part of her master's dissertation, and it's just a wonderful concept. And when it first started, my goal was to have a meal with everybody in Sun Prairie. Well, now, just like a lot of things, COVID changed the world and the way we do things. And we went from serving maybe 150 meals pre-COVID to now over 450 meals on a Monday night. So the mission has changed. It's more about providing need, and so please remember, and if you're not taking part in Sunshine Supper, or if you're not coming in through a meal, there's no cost, by the way. There's no cost, and we're not going to ask you for anything, but I'm going to say it to you this way because I believe in it deep in my heart, that you get what you give. And if you come from generosity, man, it just keeps pouring back to you 10 times. If you want to support the organization, contact Sunshine Place and make a donation to Sunshine Supper. Deanna Weber, good to see you on here. She's one of my co-volunteers at Sunshine Supper. Glad that you're on. Miss ya. Haven't seen you forever and a day. So Sunshine Supper tonight, 5 to 6. Get there early. The line starts forming around 4 o'clock. It's just been a wonderful tradition over the last 2.5 years of seeing people out there. And Barb and Diane, oh my gosh, you ladies are something else. So you're getting lined up, and seeing you is just so heartwarming. Smiley, you're always there, I know. But so Sunshine Supper, be there tonight. Dave Huckster was on earlier on Facebook, and he was in here. I'm going to see if I can get him on and this group on for next week. But I want to talk about something that's going on. That's been going on for years, and you have to. If you want to do this activity, you need to reach out to the Sun Prairie Police Department and ask them. You can ask for Ray Thompson, and have them put your name on the list. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the Sun Prairie Police Academy, Citizens Academy. And what it is, let's see what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10, 9 Wednesdays in a row. So we start out in October. We'll have our last one on December 21st. But you have an opportunity to be in front of our police department. You have an opportunity to actually sit in and learn what's going on within our police department. You get to learn how their tactics. You get to learn their philosophies. You get to learn from their leadership, from Chief Steffes to the lieutenants, and to patrol, their mindset, their thinking, what they believe about Sun Prairie. And then you also get to learn their tactics. You get to learn to shoot a pistol, a firearm. You get to learn how to drive an emergency vehicle. Yeah, you get to drive one of the squad cars, right? And for me, seeing that inside thinking, when we had Lieutenant Ryan Cox in our training last Wednesday that was talking about active threats and the use of force, it blew me away. It blew me away. Their thinking and it is very comforting, very comforting. I'm going to tell you right now, and if any of those officers were sitting in the room, their first goal isn't about arresting when a call comes in. It's about calming things down. It's about building relationships. It's about working with that person, maybe with a mental illness, that just needs that interaction, needs to have somebody to chat with, to help them through that day, through that crisis, because that help goes a lot further than the silver handcuffs that you put on. Because when you start the silver handcuffs, that jewelry that most people don't want to wear, there's a few of you out there that do. I know you do, but that's a different show. If they get you to where they can diffuse the situation, calm things down, apply the appropriate help, that's where progress begins. That's what builds a strong community. Brent Iceburner, you're on right now. You've been on this in the academy as our alder, the greatest alder in Alder 2, District 2. Glad to have you on the show on Facebook. And Brent, if you want to, stop by the show. We can talk about this. I'm over at, where the studio is. But I'm just so impressed with this statement. We're going through the handgun training, which I enjoyed. I've fired a lot of different weapons. I have shot a pistol, rifles, things like that. The one I haven't done is a musket. And I do have a musket that my real father, left me in inheritance with a bunch of rifles and shotguns and all that stuff. But we went to the pistol training over in Deerfield, and we were learning the proper technique of shooting that pistol. And I'm going to tell you, that's not easy. I love to shoot. I love being at the range. It's just fabulous to do that. That weapon is heavy, first of all. But here's what we're doing. I gotta put this up there, because we were talking with our instructors, and you're allowed to ask them questions anytime. And so one of the questions that I asked was, and there's a group of 4 of them in the room. I said, how many times have you fired your weapon out in the field? As you're not at a range, but as a police officer, how many times have you pointed your weapon at somebody and fired? And they all kind of got quiet and got dumbfounded. I said, I don't mean to embarrass you or anything like that. I'm just curious how often you have to shoot your weapon. I thought it was a good question. I mean, at first I thought they were kind of ticked off at me, right? Because I would ask a tough question like that. Right out of the blue, We're talking weapons. They're talking gun safety. But how many times have they had to shoot at somebody? How did bring somebody down? We've heard about the shootings, haven't we? I mean, I read for city council. I said, stop the shootings out there. So I want to know. How many times have you fired your weapon? And they looked at me. I mean, and when I say they looked at me, I thought they were ticked off at me. They were kind of like, I don't know, outside of themselves for a while. And I wish I could remember Scott's last name. One of the instructors looked up and said, never. And then the next one, never. And the next one, never. And then the next one, Scott. He says in 27 years, there has never been an officer that has fired a weapon at an individual. Or have they ever had to hurt somebody permanently? You know what I'm saying? Doesn't that surprise you? Not have to use that type of force in Sun Prairie. Because I'm going to tell you right now, everybody that's listening to this show, I bet dime to a dollar, bet my house, you thought somebody has fired a weapon at an individual. Now, that doesn't mean that they haven't pointed their weapons, but they have a progression that they go through. They don't want to shoot you. They don't want to shoot you. They want to de-escalate the situation. There are alternatives. But doesn't that surprise you? Never have they ever had a fatal shooting of an individual in Sun Prairie that these officers could remember. Never have they ever. Blown away. Absolutely blown away by this. Now, one of the tasks that we did on that night, being at Deerfield, and that's the gun range, of course, being the Sun Prairie cheerleader that I am and superhero, is that I said right away, and I said it to Brent Iceburner, I said, dude, why don't we have a gun range in Sun Prairie? Why do we have to go over to little bitty frickin' Deerfield to borrow their gun range so our officers can come here and fine-tune their shooting abilities? You know, why is that? We're getting buses. We're getting leaf machines for $1.5 million. Why can't we have a gun range here in Sun Prairie? Nothing wrong with it. We are a gun community. We are a hunting community. You gotta sight your weapons somewhere. And you know, the sport of shooting, it is that. I mean, so I know there's some of you out there right now, oh my God, I never touch a gun. Never, ever. My Terry, she's the same way. She goes, I don't like guns. Bobby Call, good morning. Mike Powers, thanks for joining. Yeah, there's some people out there that just don't want to touch a firearm. I get it. You don't have to. But as a kid growing up, man, I was probably 7. The first time I fired a weapon. And my grandfather, who owned a taxi service, he called it a taxi stand, I had a little .22 short rifle, single shot. Had to put that little bitty bullet in the chamber and seal it. And he had these big wooden blocks. And he put targets up. And we'd go out there, and I might be 10 feet away, and I get to shoot into those targets. It was the coolest thing I ever thought. It was fun. We had a good time. You know, being a kid, 10, 11 years old, out hunting with a .410 shotgun with my cousin, squirrel hunting. Not very successful. Rabbit hunting. Not very successful. And that's okay. But, you know, the thing is, we were taught how to respect that weapon. We were taught at a young age what that weapon could take away. We were taught at a young age, you don't point a weapon at anything you don't want to kill. You don't point it at a person. Of course, my dad was in Vietnam, and so talking about that, but that led to some good conversations. But we learned gun safety, and we took it serious. But then again, we didn't have, Grand Theft Auto, shooting cops. We didn't have social media out there with everything going on. We didn't have all that interference back then. But then again, talking to Jack Wilkinson, Officer Jack Wilkinson, who used to be the officer that was in the school district for like 9 years. Believe me, he knows my son well, Alex. He knows Alex. He can remember the days, along with me, that I remember one of the kids coming into school with a shotgun. Yeah, a shotgun. Walked in with a shotgun. And I don't even remember if it was in a case or not. And what they were doing was they were bringing it for show and tell. And what he was going to do, or what they did, was they showed the proper technique and way to clean your shotgun. Boy, the days have changed, huh? Yeah, I know. I would love to say we could go back to that, and but that would take a lot of parent work, parent interaction, and that ain't happening. So parents are a problem. Parents are a problem. You are. You parents are a problem. You're wimps. You are. You're just wimps. So weapons. I mean, firing a weapon that's your choice. But I thought it was fun. We did pretty good at the end. I mean, we're shooting a lot, and at the very end, it was getting so heavy, and I was squeezing it so tight that the gun was shaking. And I have my little scorecard at home if anybody wants to see it. Good morning, Diane. And I did pretty good. I was trying to shoot the bullseye out. Yeah, Dave Huckster and I were joking, but right before we started shooting, because I know he's a big hunter. I've hunted. I haven't been there. I haven't hunted in probably, oh my gosh, 5-6 years now. But deer hunting. Deer hunting's a different show, different subject. But so Dave's like, I think I can take you on this. I'm like, okay, I'll bet you a beer you can't. So I'm trying to shoot the bullseye out in circles around it. And there's some strays in there. I mean, going up a little high, a little low, and all that. But it was because I got tired. I got tired. But let me tell you about the other side of going to Deerfield and this experience with firearms. We were able to go into a simulator. And the simulator puts you in with a partner. And Dave was my partner. Dave Huckster was my partner. They put you in a simulator that gives you a situation where you get to play police officer. And you're going to make a life and death decision. You're going to make the decision on how you handle the situation. And in the beginning, it's kind of interesting because, you don't know what to say or do. You don't. You just don't know what to say or do. And I got to tell you, I wish everybody in Sun Prairie could go through this thing, because I think you would have the utmost respect for what officers have to experience on a daily basis. OMG. Now, the simulator is pretty cool. It's a computer program. Lieutenant Ray Thompson was putting us through this process. So what he does is he puts a scenario into the computer. You're standing in front of a screen with your partner with these special plastic pistols, and you're going to make the decision on how you handle the situation. So in the first projection that we had, you see we're with a state trooper from Michigan. Why Michigan? I don't know, but it was Michigan. And we're at a house, and it's a what do you call it? A suspicious person call. And so the state trooper goes around one side of the house. She tells us to go around the other side of the house. So Dave and I creep around, and we've already been taught tactical considerations and building searches. So we know how to go around a corner, kinda. And we do. We go around the corner of this house, and here's a guy that is, it's an L-shape, like come around the house, and then there's an L shape, goes to a patio. When the house goes to the left, there's a dog kennel, and what you see is that state trooper coming around that kennel, but hidden behind the house where the trooper can't see it is a man, a male figure, and from a distance it looks like he's got a gun. And so your senses, heighten, and all of a sudden he sees you. The man with the supposed weapon sees you, and he starts to come at you. And as he turns, you see it's not a gun, it's an axe. So at this point, we're giving him commands, and we're talking to him. And, hey buddy, what are you doing? Hey, stop right there. Halt, stop. And he kept progressing. He kept coming forward. And we both now have our weapons up. Why? I don't know. It was instinct. Nobody trained us to put our gun up and get ready. And the gentleman pauses for a second, which relaxed us. And then in our scenario, he takes an aggressive step forward and puts the axe up over his head like he's going to hit him. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I took him out, middle of the chest, gone. Dave didn't fire, which we talked about, which was interesting. Yeah, I took him out. Boom. Problem is I didn't fire more than once. Boom. Now I'm laughing at it because what I'm laughing at is we were taught in these situations that one shot doesn't necessarily do what you needed to do, and that was to stop the perpetrator. If you're going to fire, take him down. Make him stop. So it could be one shot, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots. But the scenario was that we were put in a stressful situation. I'm going to tell you, it was a little nerve-wracking. In the next scenario, we got to take a step back, and another group went in, and the ladies went in, and they did their thing, and then we were watching, stayed quiet, and they had a different scenario. What happened with them is the guy stopped. So we go to another one where, and this is the interesting one, I think, because what happened was we're in where there is a hostage situation. So we're walking. It looked like a school. Honest to God, it did look like a school. We walk in, and we're walking down a hallway. We're clearing the hallways the way we're taught, right? Our tactical considerations. We're walking, and all of a sudden we round a corner, and the picture, what you see is this lady that's laying on a bench. A guy has his back to us. Her face, you can't see her face or her upper body. He has a baseball bat, and he is just wailing, going down. But you don't know if he's hitting her, or if he's killing a snake that's attacking her or something. I don't know. I'm serious. So you come around the corner, here's this lady, and all of a sudden you just see this guy and his back is turned to you. You can't see what's going on, and he's hitting something in front of him. Dave fires right away. I don't start firing until Dave starts firing. Right? And I missed. The thing is, what I found out later is, if the shooting's being investigated afterwards, that what I did was inappropriate. Yeah, and I could be in trouble for it. Because I shouldn't be firing because my partner fires. I should be firing because I see a situation that makes that happen, or tells me that I should do that. Because somebody was in harm. Somebody was being hurt. But in my world, in my eyes, in my thought process, I couldn't see that. I couldn't tell for sure that he was hitting her because I saw the bat go down, but she didn't move. And, if somebody hits you with a baseball bat, your legs are going to shoot up or something's going to happen. I mean, you're going to react. If you're alive, you're going to react. I didn't see that. Could have been anything on the other side. But those are those decisions that our officers have to make. And thank God in Sun Prairie, they've never had to do that. And if you're just joining the show, they've never fired their weapon at a person. They've pointed their weapons, but they've never fired those weapons. Deadly force has never been used in Sun Prairie. How about that? I like that. Deadly force has never been used in Sun Prairie. Period. Great conversation. I'm telling you, it's one of my favorite classes I've done. It gives you a perspective of the thought process, your mentality of what you're seeing, and is it real? Is it what it really is? So the next time you see a video on TV of an officer shooting and all that, here's what I want you to think about. There's more to the story than what you're seeing. Absolutely. Officers, and I don't know about anywhere else, but I know in Sun Prairie, I know the steps that they follow, that they know they practice religiously in what they're going to do to handle every situation that's out there. Stay in curiosity. Stay in curiosity. The biggest thing I picked up out of this entire activity, this event, and you get the message from Chief Mike Steffes to all the way to the patrol level officers, is that they want to build relationships, not create obstacles. They're not here to be the guy that you're afraid of. They want to be the guy that you look to for help. They want to be the resource to help you, to help us, to help me in a time of need. And as he says, we build relationships, our community gets stronger. Those are the words of Mike Steffes. Build a community, build a relationship, and our community becomes stronger. And I believe it. I believe it. You know, right now we have a mental health professional. Cassie is on staff for the police department, and she's basically on a 24-hour call. Yeah, she is. She's new, and she goes out and intercedes a lot of times. And sometimes she can diffuse the situation. And believe me, folks, in Sun Prairie, they know most of the folks in town that have a struggle, whether it is dementia, whether it is bipolar, schizophrenic, alcohol related, drug related. They know these folks already, and they have a system that educates them and reminds them, and they have it in their car. You know, as the officers were talking about, Ray Thompson was talking about this. He says you don't want to have somebody that has mental health issues, and you take them to jail, and then they end up having to take them to, I think it was Fond du Lac or Green Bay for mental evaluation and all that. You just don't want to, because it's a hardship on the person that's being taken care of. Now, let me explain. I mean, first of all, they've got to deal with the handcuffs. They've got to be secured, okay, through the process. And then they're going to be sent, let's say, to Green Bay, right? And when they get there and they're discharged, once they get them calmed down, maybe back on their medication, something like that, how do they get home? And they may not even have the money or the means to do that, or the family to help out. So they're sensitive to the needs of the community and the individuals that they're interacting with on a daily basis. Absolutely amazing, folks. I am so proud of the experience that I have had with the Sun Prairie Police Department. And I don't know how to say it except that I'm proud. And I'm comfortable knowing that we have a police department that cares about the people in our community. Good morning, Patty. The people that are from mental health side or criminals, they care about them. They don't want to shoot them. And I got to tell you, by the way, tasing is a different subject. Tasing doesn't work all the time. Now let me tell you why. And here's a great example of it. First of all, you've got to have a pretty damn good shot. You got to be about maybe 10 feet at the farthest away, because there are two plugs and there's an area that you have to connect for it to even work. Now, if you've got a little bit of extra redundant tissue, sometimes it doesn't work. In Wisconsin right now, if we are, it's wintertime. People are wearing clothes. And if you're like me, I wear 2 layers, sometimes 3 layers of clothing, right? Yeah, that little barb's not going through. It's just not going through. And so it's not as effective. It's not as effective as the media out there wants you to think, or groups that are telling you, well, they could have used their tasers instead. Well, no. And then sometimes they might tase them, and that doesn't stop them. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Joe. Joe, it's been too long, buddy. We got to get together. So again, I'm very proud of our police department and what they've done, and I love that philosophy. I love that thinking. We still don't have enough officers, and I'll talk about that. Let's do this. Let's take a break. Let me catch my wind, have a couple sips of tea, and we'll bring you back here, and we'll talk about all the speeding that's going on in Sun Prairie. We'll talk about all those cars flying down Main Street and Windsor Street and all that stuff. And why aren't the cops stopping them, damn it? Frickin' speeders. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? I know you do. Here's a little bit of Langhorne Slim and The Way We Move right here on 103.5 WLSP. Good morning, everybody. Glad you could join me. Woo! There we go. All right, I'll be back. I got to go look for an announcement. Patty, Sherry, Joe, Diane, Carrie Weber. Miss you, Carrie. Haven't seen you in a while. Carrie, did you get my message about Santa? Okie dokie. We're going to talk about that in the last half hour, I believe. Hey, Janice, how's the ankle? Man, I missed you on Thursday. Sorry you couldn't make it, hon. All right, be right back, guys. All right. I'm back. Hey, Melissa. Sarah Rabbit, good morning. Glad you could join me. Anybody out there gone through the police academy? Absolutely amazing. I'm like I said, I'm blown away by it. Facebook folks, friends, peeps, everybody. Hey, if you want to know where the music is in my head right now, in my ears. But the reason you can't hear it is because if I play it, Facebook will shut us down. And yeah, they just don't understand. Sometimes they're idiots, but they just don't like it. But you're welcome to go onto my playlist on Spotify and get it anytime you like. You can borrow it, use it, whatever. And there's some pretty good ones, I think.
Good morning, Sun Prairie, and welcome to Baker Street.
The question isn't what are we going to do, the question is what aren't we going to do.
This calls for the old Billy Baroo.
Time to rise and shine. Now here's your host, Bill Baker.
Hey, thanks, Lisa. I appreciate that. Lisa Wolf, my previous producer and creator of Good Morning Sun Prairie. I took over after she left here and was very blessed to have Lisa show me the ropes. She got me started. I was her guest host a lot of times, and so it was a lot of fun that I got to be on the radio with her. A lot of fun, I tell you. Hey, don't forget that it's Sunshine Supper tonight, and it's going to be from 5 to 6 p.m. right down on Main Street. Need a meal? Stop by. Need 2 meals? Stop by. Need 5, 6, 10? That's okay. Come by, drive around to the back, get in line, tell them how many meals you want, and we will bring it out to your car. Happy to do that for you. Tonight it's going to be provided by Grace Coffee and pork sandwiches with coleslaw and potato salad. Gotta have me some potato salad. Also want to let you know that Westside Elementary School is having their share night at Culver's over on Main Street tonight. Come out, get a butter burger, and have part of those proceeds go to Westside Elementary School. Also, don't forget this. Put it on your calendar. Underline it, circle it, highlight it, get it ready. Wednesday night is for Meadowview. It's a Meadowview share night. And it's Wednesday at Culver's, at the new Culver's, at Oxford Place. I never really knew the address until this morning. Alex Mahoney gave me the information, and I'm like, Oxford Place? What's Oxford Place? It's the new one. So Wednesday night of this week. Monday night is for Westside Elementary at the Main Street Culvers, and Meadowview is Wednesday night at the Oxford Place Culvers. Hey, have you seen the advertisements for Santa coming to your house? Well, you should, because Santa Claus could knock on your door for your kiddos that are out there. Absolutely. Imagine Santa Claus coming to your door, seeing your kiddos, calling them by name, and bringing them a gift. It's happening every weekend all the way up to Christmas, brought to you by the Sun Prairie Lions Club. And for $25, it can happen. You need to do it. You need to be there. It's pretty cool. It really is. Start Christmas celebration with a visit from Santa Claus. Santa and his elves will visit your home, chat with your kiddos, calling them by name, and the big ones too. Photo ops, and yes, Santa will have a little gift. And by the way, he may look a little bit like me. But Santa visits are in there. You got to go to the Sign Up Genius to do that. Check it out. Go to the Sun Prairie Lions Club website, or go to Sun Prairie What's Happening. You'll catch it there. You can go to my Facebook page. You'll find it there. And there's a little link. Click on the link. Schedule your visit. It is awesome. I am having a blast. This past Friday and Saturday, we had huge numbers. And 3 and 4 Santas were being used, and we just spread out across the community and bringing a little bit of extra holiday cheer to Sun Prairie and to our kiddos that are out there. You know, we started this is the brainchild of Brad Bauer. Bauer Construction here in town. Brad used to do that for friends of his after his kids got too old. So he would visit around, and Santa would come and bring gifts to his buddies' kiddos. And when COVID hit, we knew everything shut down, which meant Santa Claus visits stopped. You couldn't get to a mall Santa, right? And so Brad brought it to the Sun Prairie Lions Club, which I am a member of. In fact, I'm the membership chair for that. And said, hey, this is what I would like to propose. And we went, sure, let's do it. Let's see what happens. That first year, 900 stops. 900 stops. You put that in and think about that for a minute. 900 stops. Last year, 450, which we knew there would be a reduction. But this year, we're still on track for about 450 to 500 stops. And we do it every Friday and Saturday night. Again, go to the Sun Prairie Lions Club Facebook page, and you'll see the link. Hit that Sign Up Genius, and we'll get a day and an area scheduled. Now, you can't do specific times. That's a challenge for us because of travel and how long we spend at each house, but it would be worth it for you to do this. I can't tell you how satisfying it is for this big guy here. When I put on that beard and costume, oh my gosh, to see the faces of these kiddos as they see me at the door with my elf, and it's fun. And what do they want to? What do they want to know? Where's my reindeer? Well, and I tell them they are resting up, and we used a car today because the reindeer are taking a break and getting ready. They're eating, building up their energy for that big night, Christmas Eve. So the other night, this past week, very special one for me because, and I'm laughing already. Had a kiddo that was there, and I popped up to the door. We opened up the storm door, and he comes flying at me and jumps into my arms and almost knocked me over, and he's just in a diaper. He had to be 4 years old. Oh my gosh. And those are the times that just make it worthwhile. And then I'm holding him, and there's pictures on my Facebook page. You'll see it. And he's stroking my beard. He's not pulling it. He just wanted to touch it. And it was just so much fun. Oh, my gosh. I don't know who gets more satisfaction out of this. The kiddos or the big Santa here. But it's a blast. I love doing it. My beard and everything is so good that I've actually had I put pictures up, and people go, well, who is that? Like, it's me, silly. It's me. So Santa visits, don't forget to do that, all right? Please, 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 please. Hey, we've been talking about the Citizens Police Academy, and I was sharing with you about the use of a weapon. Now, we also had an opportunity, and I got to do it last Thursday morning, in fact. I went to roll call at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was with Jack Wilkinson till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Officer Jack Wilkinson. Now, he patrols the east area, and there are 4 areas in Sun Prairie, and in most days there are 4 officers that are patrolling our community: east, west, north, south. Big surprise, right? And no, there might be 6 officers total, but sometimes you have vacations, you have sick days, and they've been going through a sick thing over there. They had 3 officers call out sick because of the flu, which it is really hard on them because the other officers have to step up and pick up their shift. It's overtime and all that, but it's they support each other. I mean, it's like a huge family there, and it's really pretty cool, I got to tell you. So I went into roll call. I got to see what they do. I got to see how they review what's happened the shift before them or the day before them. They have follow-up items that they have to discuss. They have educational things that they discuss, they prepare for, and then they talk about their day and what to expect. Now, Thursday, the conversation was Friday. And Friday we were expected to have all that snow. And so they knew that what they were going to be having is fender benders and accidents. And I was laughing about it because I always say, and you've heard me say it right here, is that for some reason we have amnesia as Wisconsinites, and we forget what happens when it snows or how to drive on the snow. But that was the discussion, their comments. And but I can't say enough thanks to Amy and to Jen and to Jack Wilkinson, Jason, Sergeant Jason, and it was just a great group. Ashley, who is she's not a police officer, community officer. That was a great conversation to have. But I got to spend a day with Jack, and I want to talk about that now. Jack Wilkinson, you may know him because he was the officer for 9 years in the school district, right? I think it was the high school, and I might be wrong on that. And but he was in the school system, and I know he was in the school system because, I know I had some interaction with him. How about that? How's that sound? But so Jack is known. And he's a great guy. He is such a pillar in our community of what it should be like to be a cop. And I think he gives a perfect example of being a police officer. I really do. As I said, I've known him for years. This was the first day I saw him in action. Now, part of our discussion, my quizzing, my need to know was, I said, dude, what about all these speeders? I said, it seems like people are just flying down Main Street and all through Sun Prairie. They don't give a crap about this 25-mile-an-hour speed limit, and it was just a waste of time. And he looks over and he goes, well, why don't we find out? And I'm like, what do you mean, why don't we find out? He says, let's pull some cars over. I'm like, pull some cars over? Cool, let's do that. I've seen TikTok. I've watched these officers pull cars over. And so I was pretty excited about it. And so we went over he says, now, Main Street's not my area, but Windsor is, and Windsor's pretty busy. So he says, I'll show you where I go. So he parks on Windsor, right by Grove Street, which is facing west. And the reason for that is when you're coming from that light from Bird Street, right? You're coming up, there's a hill, and you have to crest that hill. And he's got you right there, right? Locked on radar. And so he gets out, he sets up his radar units, he hits the timing forks, it sets it up, it is locked and ready to go, and we start the adventure. And so, I'm waiting for, it's going to be like 1 or 2 cars, and we're going to nail somebody. Yeah, no, that's not the case. You know, one car goes by, and I'm going, he's speeding. And Jack's like, nope, he's not. 27 miles an hour. I'm like, oh my gosh. Another one goes by, and I'm like, he's got to be speeding. Nope, no, 30 miles an hour. 34 miles an hour. 35 miles an hour. 25 miles an hour. They're all within a 10 mile an hour range. They're cresting the hill, and they're 35 miles an hour. I said, well, why don't you pull them over for 10 miles an hour over? He said, because they're going up a hill. And he says people tend to put their foot on the accelerator a little bit to make it up the hill, the grade. And so we went through this for quite a while. And I'm going to tell you, maybe 40, 50 cars went by. 40 or 50 cars went by. And we're there about 8:30 in the morning. And boom, all of a sudden one's going like 42 miles an hour. And he says, that's a little high. We throw on the flasher, the lights, and he pulls this car over. And of course the person is distraught. I mean, tears, the whole thing, a young lady. And he goes through the process. He has to come back. He's got to run the plate. The plate, she didn't own the plate. It was a work vehicle. And found out that she hadn't had a ticket in a long time. And his interaction with her was just very pleasant. And if you know Jack Wilkinson, this guy is not a threatening dude. He's just not. There's not a bone in his body that could be threatening. And Christina, his wife, she'd tell you that. This guy is just, he's, like I said, he's the ambassador of Sun Prairie Police, I think. But, so he's telling me, I said, are you going to write her a ticket? And he goes, no, I'm not. And I said, well, why not? She's over the speed limit. And here came those words. He says, sometimes, most of the time, it's the interaction and the education. And also how they relate to his involvement of knowing that they were speeding. He says, costing them money doesn't do anything. He says it makes them mad. He said, now there are sometimes he's going to write that ticket. But he gave her a warning. He went back to the vehicle, and you can't believe everything he has to go through, and he's looking for wants and warrants, blah, blah, blah. He's got to contact the dispatcher. Nick down at dispatch was there. And he's just going through this whole thing, and then he goes up and talks to the young lady again, and her comments were hilarious. Well, do I need to tell my employer about this? And he's like, well, that's up to you. I'm giving you a warning. I'm not giving you a ticket. That's up to you with what you're doing. And he says, I would need to ask you to please be aware of your speed when you're in Sun Prairie. We have the 25 mile. And he was just very polite and courteous. And I swear to God, if he had men used to carry handkerchiefs, right? A clean handkerchief. If he had one, he would have handed it to her to wipe away the tears and then let her keep it, right? So that was the morning. So, about 1 out of 50 cars. 1 out of 50 cars. Not one going excessive speed, right? So so then afterwards he comes back to the car and he changes his position. He moves so he can be out of the way, and turns his lights off and everything. Now his paperwork, he has to do his paperwork. So now he's got to put in an incident report and do this with the gewitzits and the doohickeys and the thingamabobs and whatchamacallits and all that stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's like another 10 minutes. So, and I kept thinking, I'm looking at my watch going, this is a 20-minute stop. 20 minutes for one vehicle. One vehicle. So let's just do 10 minutes per stop, which could never happen. If you do 5 cars a day, that's 50 minutes where an officer's not patrolling the community. So he finishes his paperwork, it gets all filed, and boom, and we're off, and we are patrolling the east side. And you can tell he has a route that he likes to follow, and And we were talking about just the area and how much he enjoys it. And I did take him to lunch. I did buy him lunch. And we went to Mooyah. I said, why don't we go down to Eddie's and get the bowl of chili from Renee? He goes, they really don't want us at Eddie's. I'm like, okay, how about Daly's? We'll go to Daly's. No, he says, I don't have time. I only have 30 minutes for lunch. I said, well, Buck and Honey's? Yeah, it's going to take too long. And I said, how about Culver's? Let's go to Culver's. And he goes, I've wanted to go to Mooyah for a long time. Said, all right, we're going to Mooyah. That was a good burger, by the way. Oh, my, I haven't had a burger like that in a long time. Oh, my goodness. Went over, had lunch. And now I got to tell you about the interaction at lunch. How many people came over and said thank you for wearing the uniform? Now, we say that to military all the time. But to have a police officer there and to have people coming over, they don't even know who he is. They don't. So these people didn't know. And, a couple of people came and say, hey, thanks for wearing the uniform. Wow, I'm sitting back and going, yeah, Jack, thank you. I appreciate you wearing the uniform. And again, he's an officer. He's got like 27 years in the police force. He's never fired his weapon at a person. Ever. Eric Sullivan, good morning. Speaking of police officers, another one of my buddies down in Belmont, but he patrols over in Iowa, actually. So it was a wonderful day. I'm going to tell you that 8 hours went by like it was a minute. And later that afternoon, before everything ended, there was a lady that had been caught, or an employee was stealing, and we had to go back up Jen and be there so we could help out if she needed it. Well, she didn't, so we did that. What else is going on? Really, it was just a very mellow day, and we went back and we did some more cars because I said the speeding thing, they must speed later. And I said, everybody's bitching about the speeders that are happening in Sun Prairie. And he goes, yeah, there are some. And he says, but I got to show you. I want to show you the reality of it. So we go back. We park in the exact same place, right? Facing west, Windsor Road and Grove Street, right at that intersection. It was funny because a young kid went to pull out of Grove Street onto Windsor. He's on his cell phone. And he looks over and sees the squad sitting there, and he pulls over. And what's he do? He finishes his cell phone call before he pulls out. And Jack's like, oh yeah, this dude's put it on speaker. Put it on speaker. That's the safe way to do it. So we go back to our, not patrolling, but we're sitting there and we're measuring cars. We're looking at their speed. And I'm going to tell you, about another 40 to 45 cars total went by us. Maybe 50 cars, because I lost count. And then a Dodge Charger goes flying by us. and before the radar hit, Jack goes, here's one. And because he's got radar out the back, radar up the front, so he's doing both ways, and it measures both ways. It's pretty cool. And pull the guy over. I mean, this is a Dodge Charger. This is a man's man. It's got a lot of guts to it, you know what I mean? It's got tinted windows. It was orange. It was orangish, burnt orange maybe. I mean, it was a good car. It was a man car. I'm just telling you right now. Oh, yeah. So we pull him over. Oh, my gosh. This is a good story right here. He just got his license. That day, earlier that morning, he got his license. He got it back. He got it reinstated. Lisa Murphy, good morning. And so he comes back to the car, and he's smiling at this guy. He's smiling. I mean, he's having a great conversation with him. And the gentleman was very polite, very courteous, not threatening. His wife was on the speakerphone, and he said to Jack, well, yeah, I just got my license. I was just talking to my wife about this. And Jack goes, hey, "Wife, are you still on the phone?" And she goes, "Yep, I'm right here. He just got it today." And Jack's just laughing. I mean, it's funny. And he says, "All right, I'll be right back." So he comes back to the patrol car, and he does his process. Now, he's already entered the plates and all this, and it's a rental car, by the way. He's rented this car from Enterprise, and he starts to run the information on the gentleman. Well, the gentleman had some information. Bethany, I'm talking about the police academy. Now, Bethany had an experience we'll talk about in a minute. But so he runs the guy's background. Well, his background was extensive, and he had been on parole. He went through all of that. But he right now didn't have any wants or warrants or anything like that. And I even said to Jack, I said, "Does that change your mind about what you're about to do next in the way of a ticket?" And he says, "No, absolutely not." He says, "The guy has completed what he's supposed to complete. He had surrendered his license before. Now, because of his efforts, he's earned it back. And he is a positive citizen in the community." And I said, "Well, okay, you're going to give him a ticket." And he goes, "No, I'm not giving him a ticket. I'm not ruining his day. He's had enough run-ins with police. He's expecting a ticket right now." He says, "I want the interaction with me and the Sun Prairie Police Department to be a pleasant one, and let him know that every time you see a police officer, you don't have to kind of shrink in your seat or have the chills run up your neck or that something's going to happen to him." So he went back. He talked to this guy. I would say he probably spent another 7 to 8 minutes at the vehicle just talking to him and just relating to him a little bit. Told him he was going to get a warning. And I wish I could have seen his face, because I'll bet you the guy was in tears. But, and the lesson that I got from this whole thing in this situation was it was all the interaction between the cop and the speeder and what the attitude was. I mean, we've seen enough of those attitude ones on TikTok. I get so sick of them, I just turn them off. All of a sudden you're a speeder, and now you've turned into an attorney. This wasn't that way. And this guy had a history. He had a rap sheet that was as long as my arm. He did. And yet Jack's whole purpose was to develop, hopefully, the start of a relationship between the Sun Prairie Police Department and somebody that might have gotten a little overexcited about the car they were driving on the first day of having their license. And he says, "I'm not ruining that day." Now, I know some of you out there, and Eric Sullivan, I hope you're still watching, and you can jump in here, buddy, if you want to. I know some of you out there are saying, "Nail the son of a gun. Just nail him. He broke the law. He was speeding. Give him a ticket." Would that ticket have the same response that Jack gave him? What would giving him a ticket and making him pay whatever and having running in a charge, his insurance would go up, the whole thing, blah blah blah, right? Especially if somebody that's been involved with and had interaction with law enforcement. Or do you think that Jack's decision and what he did went a lot farther? What it told me in a bigger scheme was that, there's going to be times you make mistakes, but you don't need to live with those mistakes the rest of your life. You can move forward. You can move on. And you can be better. You can grow from it. And you know what? I watched my speed on Windsor Street around Grove and Windsor Street, because that interaction that I had for 8 hours with the police department with one of Sun Prairie's finest. Touched me in a way that, in more ways than just a cop and a guy riding in the passenger seat. It really told me a lot of things. Maybe, especially when we're in the holiday season, maybe we forgive those that need forgiving. Maybe we give them a second chance. Maybe we give them a third chance. There was a message in this day. One is that a police officer is our friend. A police officer is a vital community individual that makes our town stronger, better, attractive, comforting. I feel I have a whole different opinion about our police department. As I said in the beginning of the show, I was very proud of our police department before I went through this academy. And I'm going to tell you right now that my respect meter is off the chart. There's no chart that holds the respect that I have for the Sun Prairie Police Department and what they have accomplished and what they are continuing to grow and to improve on. And a huge thank you to Mike Steffes, Chief Mike Steffes, to Ray Thompson for putting this on. And guys, I would ask that they put this program on 4 times a year. 4 times a year. I know that's, if you do 9 times 4, that's a lot of weeks, right? Out of 52. But I think the influence it would have on our community and our kids especially would be amazing. Would be absolutely amazing. So next time you see one of our folks, our Sun Prairie Police Department, out there in uniform, please say thank you. Tell them, hey, I heard Bill Baker talking, and I just want to say thank you. Yeah, I do. Because I do. And I'm going to see what I can do to pull in some of our folks. Beth Ann Pachowski, get her in here. She was one of our members. Maybe Dave Huckstra. See if I can get somebody else to come in. And I don't want officers. I want people, the citizens. I want the citizens. I want them to share with you what they experienced. And, well, here I'm going to tell you, Bethany. She was on. She did a ride along, and I think she only did 4 hours. I did 8 hours, just because that's who I am. But she had a situation where they had a lady that was on a call, and they had somebody with schizophrenia, and she was really out of control. I don't know how to say this correctly, so please forgive me for it. She was out of control, spitting. She spit on one of the officers. And they had to transport her down to Madison to the jail and all this stuff. And it wasn't a. I didn't have that experience. Bethany was hit by it. I mean, she liked how they handled this situation and how they talked to her, how they calmed her down. They did have to restrain her. And but they did it in a way that was respectful. They did it in a way that prevented harm to the individual, or where the individual could harm themselves. And I'll let her talk to you about that when next. See if I can get it next Monday. That'll be pretty damn good. Sherry Otto wants you to know, maybe the guy had a little trouble getting used to the strange car. I rented a car once and just wasn't used to it at first. And thank you, Bill, for this show. Gives me a whole new perspective about our wonderful Sun Prairie Police. You're welcome, Sherry. And what you said? Oh, Elaine, is it Jellings has gone through the academy? I'm going to tell you, everybody, you should get out there and sign up, because this academy is priceless. Absolutely priceless. I am so proud of it. I can't wait to do what they call the emergency vehicle operations. I know we have to wait till spring now, but I don't want to wait till spring. I grew up in Michigan. We're over in a parking lot doing spins and all that, trying to get the learn how to overcorrect and undercorrect and blah blah blah. But there you have it. Let's do this. Let's go back to some music and come back, and we'll be on the second part of our show and figure out what else we're going to talk about for the rest of the day. How about a little, as you know me, and if you do know me, you know that Bruce Springsteen is in every one of my shows. And I love to say that this is number 7th song that's on my list. Wait, Janice says, I did the Sun Prairie Police Academy in 2012. Was an awesome experience. I love that, Janice. I'm glad you had a good experience too. Let's listen to LaBruce right here on 103.5 WLSP The Sun. Hey, don't forget we're underwritten by the Bank of Sun Prairie and the Baker Realty Group. We bring you home and a little bit of Sloppy Joe's Cafe right here on 103.5 WLSP. Good morning, everybody. Merry Christmas. Be right back, kids. Hello, kids. You look shocked that I'm here. All against the show. Well, I wasn't talking to you. Let me say it again. Hey, Janice, how's the ankle? I gotta find something to talk about. Well, I hope you feel better. I know you've been working from home. If you need something, give me a scream, would you? Happy to help you. We missed you on Thursday. But I know that ankle, oh my God. Sometimes, I hate to say this, it's better to break it than it is to sprain it. I think the sprains are more uncomfortable. Right? They'll probably x-ray it again just to see. Sometimes when you first injure it, they can't see a break or a crack or anything because of the swelling. Not trying to bust your bubble or anything. Just Dr. Bill playing Dr. Bill. Little bit of Journey right now on the radio. Yeah, well, we missed you, hon. Oh, it is broken for sure? Oh my gosh. So I'm looking for things going on in Sun Prairie. Well, you know what, Janice, it'll probably be a little bit better. Good morning, Mike Collins. Yeah, love me some Journey. I missed my little cue there. Sorry about that, guys. I moved my little stand that I'm on. Hey, Bill Baker here. Good morning, Sun Prairie, and welcome to a little bit of Baker Street. And we're underwritten by those beautiful folks at the Bank of Sun Prairie and, of course, the Baker Realty Group. Glad to be a part of the show. Man, we've been around for 7 years. 7 years doing the real estate show on Wednesdays, and then also Good Morning Sun Prairie, some football, some baseball, some farmers markets, of which I want to remind you that farmers markets are still on, but they're being held at Buck and Honey's every Saturday morning. So get down there and get you some good stuff. I think you'll enjoy it, you know. A lot of things still going on. Like I said, the Police Academy, I want to put out a huge shout out again to that. The Sun Prairie Police Academy was absolutely fantastic. It's an experience that everyone should go through. And please, please, please take the time to get to know a little bit more about your police department and the people out there. If you see Jack Wilkinson, tell him, say, I know you had to put up with Bill Baker, but there you have it. Sorry. It was a good trip. Hey, I want to say this. Can you imagine opening up your front door to find Jolly O St. Nick himself? Yep, Santa Claus. And he has a gift for you just sitting there in the front door. Well, thanks to members of the Sun Prairie Lions Club, Santa will visit your home to say hello to the kiddos, and he can't wait to see them. So do this. Schedule a time by clicking on the link from the Sun Prairie Lions Club page, and it'll take you to Sign Up Genius, and you'll get that on the schedule right away. We do that every Friday and Saturday night all the way to Christmas Eve, and so happy to do that. We got about 5 Santas that are helping out, and I know I could talk about this now because the kids are in school. It's 8:45, right? All right, 8:48. But it's just a wonderful activity, one that I take a lot of enjoyment from, just to see the kids and the smile on their faces. And if you go to my Facebook page and look at the pictures, you'll understand why. One of the kiddos this week, I was sharing this earlier, and I know some of you just signed on, so I got to share it with you again. Came to the door, knocked on the door. Kiddo turned around, looked at me. His eyes got as big as, oranges. All you hear is Santa, and he comes running at me. The door's open. The storm door's open now, and with one step, he leaps into my arms, gives me the biggest hug, and he's in a diaper, just a diaper, nothing else, just a diaper. And his mom is just laughing and laughing. The dad's shaking his head and come on, we need to put some pants on you. Oh, I'm with Santa. And I was saying earlier, what was really cool about this kiddo, and he was a youngster. I mean, it was maybe 3-4 years old. He is stroking my beard, not pulling my beard. He's stroking my beard, and he's whispering. And he's here. And I want a baseball glove. I'm like, I wanted to say a baseball glove. Oh my gosh, how old-fashioned can you get? It was just so cute. And so I'm holding him, and you know how kids, they'll take both hands and they'll put it up, to your ear like this, and they're, Santa, I want a baseball glove and a ball. I said, okay. And Brian Reeder Dr. Brian Reeder was my elf, and I looked around and I said, did you get that? He goes, absolutely, Santa, I'm on it. Oh my gosh, I was to die for. It was something else. Now, let me talk about elves. You just can't get good elves out there. You just can't go to, Elves R Us and get a good elf. You just can't get one. They train, I know, for years to become the elves at the level that Brian Reeder has achieved. And again, you'll see pictures on my Facebook page if you want to see this, but I wish I had a video of this. Brian Reeder is the most hilarious person I have ever met. He's a good friend. Think the world of him and his wife Heather. Big swim parents, as I was, and he's still got kids swimming, so they're going to swim meets still, or they're enduring swim meets. But he is dressed completely in an elf outfit, and we brought a bag. It's a gold bag, and actually the gold bag is what I store my Santa stuff in. That's what it arrived in anyway. And actually I hang mine up because it's all sweaty at the end of the day. You got to get it clean and all that stuff. Anyway, so Brian has taken and we had probably 20 or 30 treat bags that people like Beth Patterson, Terry Latimer, Janice Bednar, some of the other ladies got together and they put it all together. And Oh my gosh. Brian, I don't know where he got this, what planet he was on to think about doing this, but he turned into an elf. And I swear to God, he thought he was probably 3 feet tall because he dove, I said the right word, dove, head first into the bag. Half his body was in this big gold bag, and the gold bag, it's probably like 3 feet tall, maybe 3 feet wide. It's a big bag. It's a Santa bag, right? It's a cheap Santa bag, but it's a Santa bag. He is now diving into this bag, and he's rustling around in there, making the bag jump around, and you hear him, Santa, I know the good one's in here. Let me find it. He's digging. Oh, it must be way down here. He comes up, and then he comes up, and here's a treat. And his eyes are, he goes, got it, Santa, and look, it's got a picture of you on it. I'm like, and I'm sitting there, my jaw's hanging down. I think my beard came down, I don't know. And he hands me the treat, and I'm looking at him, and I had to turn my back to the kids because I'm going to bust out laughing. And I take the treat bag, and I hand them to the kiddos. And I have to look back at Brian, and Brian just shrugs his shoulders. I said, Brian, we need one more. Okay, Santa, I'll get it. And you see him, I said, do you want me to hold the bag for him? Yeah, that'd be great, Santa. Let me go get a good one. And all of a sudden, he just dives into this bag again. Head first, I'm telling you. Folks, I'm telling you, if you're holding the bag, he's hanging in it, half his body. All you see are his legs outside the bag, and this bag is just rustling around, just choo, 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 choo. And all of a sudden you hear, got it, Santa, I found the special one. Oh my gosh. He comes up, and the kids are ecstatic. I mean, they're just beside themselves. Now, here's something that Ron Wright created, and Jim McCourt, Pat Ross, and I use this all the time. I have a little book, little notebook. Actually, I got it from Pro Health Chiropractic. And when we come to the visits, we know the kids' names because we've asked for them. And so what we've done is we've created the naughty nice list. Well, on my book, it only shows nice. So it might be Bobby and Susie, and then at the bottom in red ink it says nice. And so I tell them, I said, I'm here to check with some of my specially nice kids to make sure that you're still nice before Christmas. I said, let me check in my book. So I pull it out of my belt, and I flick through the pages, and I already have the page marked because my eyes aren't that good, and those are fake glasses that I'm wearing. And so I flip the book open, I go through the page, I find their name, and I go, oh, Bobby, Susie, you're on the nice list. And I turn around and show it to them. And folks, I'm going to tell you that these kids, it's like all of a sudden you're, oh, oh my gosh. I mean, it's just priceless. Now, so what happens in this process is you go to Sign Up Genius, you sign up, and then the day of, you receive an email saying that we're going to be there that night. We start around 5 o'clock, and we'll go till we're done. And then, as we start, the elves and the driver are calling ahead to let you know that we're on our way. And then we'll be there in 5 or 10 minutes or whatever. Just giving you a heads up so you can get ready, so you can take pictures, the whole thing. I mean, it's such a delight. Oh my gosh, it's the best Christmas presents I have had forever. And so Jim McCourt was telling us, he's one of our Santas, and he was telling us that his driver made the call, and the mother was saying, well, the boys have been fighting again. I don't know if they're going to be on your nice list. And he goes, well, should I talk about it? Yes. So Jim gets over there, and I can't remember the boys' names. It doesn't matter. And he gets there, he goes, uh-oh. Oh, well, your names. What's going on here? Something's going on. Your names are starting to fade from the nice list. And both the boys are like, oh, Santa, we're so sorry. We were just fighting. We were just picking on each other. We're really sorry. We're not ever going to do it again. Never, never, never. We just realized, so sorry, Santa. and the kids. The mom is rolling on the floor, you know, she's laughing so hard. And these kids are like, oh, I'll never do it again. It was priceless. But to hear these stories, guys, this is what Christmas is all about. It's about just sharing, caring, and giving, you know. And it's not hard just to take a moment to thank somebody or to share an appreciation. And I hope you'll do that. I hope you'll think about doing that. So, Santa, I'm there Friday and Saturday night this week. This will be my last weekend because I'll be gone for Christmas. But we got to go visit Terry's mom down in Fort Myers. So get something booked, would you? $25. That money goes to the Lions Club. The Lions will donate the money back to the community through our all of our different giving, from Sunshine Place, the Shelter from the Storm, our scholarships. Part of that pays for the camp, the Lions camp, which is really cool. So thanks for letting me tell you the story about Santa. It's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Oh, hey, we got about 2 minutes left in the show. I want to say thank you to you for listening. I really appreciate it. This type of season for me is priceless, and I just really appreciate everything that you folks do. Sun Prairie is the most amazing community in the world. This is the greatest city to live in. And you know, you've heard me say this for years. I love this place, and it's because of you that are listening and watching on Facebook. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I just really appreciate everything you do. Hey, don't forget to join me on Wednesday. Join Laura Stanfield and I on Wednesday as we bring you the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show, and I've got a lot of things coming up. All right, so hang in there. And I don't want to do that. Let's see. Let me find a good. Oh, here we go. This will be a good one. Right here. This is one of the oldies, but I love it. Little Bachman Turner Overdrive. Right here on 103.5 WLSP. Have a great Monday, everybody. And don't forget Sunshine Supper tonight, 5 to 6 o'clock. See you Wednesday. Be good. There we go. Facebook, you've been awesome. You've been superb. You've been super cool. Lisa, I'm so happy that you were on about Watertown. Is very. I like Watertown. So let me Watertown. My family is all here now. We are all very close. My niece, nephew. Oh, thanks, Lisa. I appreciate it. Love you too. You've always been a good friend, and thank you so much for everything. All right, guys, I am out of here. So you guys be good, okay? And hey, will you join me on Wednesday? I'd appreciate it. See ya.